Good morning and welcome to today's live show. Today we're going to be going over a bunch of things. Going into Friday, we are outside of a 68% zone, but this is when things can get a little fishy. Just so you know, this would overall tell us, where would it make sense for us to land by the end of the day today? And it's pretty much anywhere below this red line. That's right. This is your daily expected move for the day. And you do see that that lies above 600, so above 6,601. 02 to the upside, and then we do have 590.20 to the downside. Now we did talk about if we see some selling on Friday that could be pulling back, right? That could be pulling back, use this as support, and then turn up into positive territory. We're going to look out for reversal signals from here on. You've gotten rid of all the reversal signals, right? So we know the craziness will continue, and we were open to that because we saw the divergence on the SPY right here, and that ended up being a massive move. If that would have been a little move like this and failed, well, it's a good thing we gapped above our sell zone. But good morning, Trickling. Give a like to the video if you'd like. And the Qs, all right? The Qs, we need those daily expected moves for the Qs. We do see that those daily expected moves would be 519.48. Someone coming out yesterday in the live chat saying 520 is my overall target. Well, that would make sense if we get excited and get outside of that today. This is a very squeeze-like move at this point. We've gotten rid of a lot of the reversal signals, so should we be overall bearish in this trend? Not necessarily bearish, but open to a pullback would be nice. And maybe we end up at higher levels later on. Testing that monthly looks more and more likely as we get closer to it. 519.48 to the upside for the day. We do have 507.60 to the downside. So where does it make sense for the Qs to land today? Well, anywhere below 519.48 makes the most sense. All right, that's how we're going to read into this. But I think for the most part, we can just see how we probably need some structure to head down. We probably need some reversal signal to head down, barring a black swan event. Never want to try to guess when a black swan event is going to happen. It looks like everything geopolitically is starting to get kind of solved all of a sudden, and we are about to have almost every single thing that we were going through kind of resolved in about a week. So that'll be interesting, but we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. But that's just the things that I'm seeing out there. There's talks right now of that happening. We did just open up. Notice that volatility, still seeing more likely squeeze behavior at this point. That is looking, even though it's trying to hold up around 1504, you are seeing more of that squeeze-like behavior. So if we're going to continue in the upward direction, we can see this move all the way down to 1212, which means the SPY can keep climbing from here, right? We can consolidate, keep climbing. And then we're going to look for reversal signals outside of a monthly expected move. I think that will be a great hint. As we see, going over to things like TLT. TLT is, as of now, crossed back up on the MACD. Fantastic. We noticed that the 2-hour divergence did hold for the RSI. So that's going to be a big deal, right? We noticed that when we pull up this RSI, how much these points are all going down. These points are all higher, right? So that just told us that it held on the RSI, not the best look for the MACD, right? We came down below the point that crossed up, but from these points here, we still have it. If we just spread that out just a little bit, you're going to notice on the 4-hour, it is blatantly there still on both the MACD and RSI at the same time, which means a big move is most likely coming for something like TLT, all right, on the daily scale. And that makes sense, and that makes sense today, especially as we curled up a few days ago. We noticed that the 10-year is starting to curl down on its MACD. Now, overall, we should treat this as a pullback for now and see if we can catch some ground later, but this could be a big reaction, so we're paying attention to it. Volatility 2 days ago was down by more than 10%, which tells us that we have an 85% chance of some kind of up day today in the SPY. But that does not, or some kind of down day, sorry, some kind of down day in the SPY, but that could just be a consolidative day. All right, that can be a consolidative day. Looks like we're going to continue to see the squeezing behavior, so I wouldn't really bank on that happening. This might be one of those 15% times where you're seeing just, hey, it squeezes, and we get that 15% time where we actually had higher. We can be a little bit more worrisome up in these areas because that would be a rapid move, but I'm still going to wait and look for some kind of reversal signal. I need some kind of reason to take the trade here. BK says happy and positive vibes out there today. The DIA, just so you are aware, you're outside a ton of things outside of weekly expected moves. I think this took people a little bit off guard. Obviously, as we're in the unexpected area, it took the options market off guard, but what we want to look for is still reversal signals. This is a very, very bullish thing still. This is still very bullish. We can see a 2 hour. We'll see if that's holding a divergence. It's not. So now you might need to make a 2 hour divergence on all these charts before you can actually see some kind of downturn. We'll see. Jerome Powell yesterday was interesting, wasn't it? IWM coming down, or at least starting to. We'll see if that can pull back, maybe go fill a gap. Retesting these areas would be fantastic. Retesting that breakout area would be great. AMC curled down on the 2 hour, telling us there was divergence, and the daily cross, right? The daily look, ooh, it didn't cross yet. I thought it would have crossed right there. The daily's about to cross. So something I want to be paying attention to is if we do this and then we spike back up. I really want to see if that sets up. That will be a fantastic look for a trade. Ask you a question, what's your thoughts on price for long-term on Palantir? Long-term on Palantir, I mean, these things keep going up, but what I like to say, when you say long-term, I at least think you mean 12 to 24 months. And I'll always do this. I just pull up a monthly and I go, hey, do I know for sure this is a good opportunity? Or did I maybe know more for sure it was a better opportunity when this thing was going positive? Okay, when this went positive and you went through a period of consolidation and you curled back up, that should have said, hey, that's pretty good. Okay, so on the monthly scale, and that just keeps going up, right? We've never even come back down over the past few months to test that 9-month moving average, right? We did that back in August, but since then we've just been heading up. Now, this is a rapid move. So is this a great time even this month to buy something like Palantir? I would say no, just because I have weekly expected moves, I have monthly expected moves. I have weekly expected moves, I have monthly expected moves, and I can pull those up real quick, look at Palantir, I can go over, I can look, I can say, is this a great thing right now? No. You have a more than 10% drop that could happen anytime, right? It could happen next week, right? And it would make sense. Now, do you have reversal signals? Not necessarily. You're really just seeing the squeeze behavior. You're going to see this behavior from your RSI, from your MACD. You want to see that, see a pop, drop down to the 5, see another one, and get that kind of divergence that way. Seeing divergence when the price action is just heading upward dramatically like this and you're not seeing any kind of pullback is a little bit hard to do. It's hard to find that timing during a squeeze. That's why it's always that's why it's called a short squeeze, right? Because everyone tries to short it at certain times. And that's a big problem. But what you could say is you have a 68% chance to drop more than 10% from where you're at right now by the end of the month. Does that have to happen? No. This could easily just keep going to the upside. We do not see reversal signals. I have no reason to believe that Palantir has to drop down besides the fact that it's very overbought, right? I have no reason to believe this has to fall down because I have no reasons to take a trade. Do I see divergence? No. This divergence here, well, it's squeezing divergence. Do I want to bet against that? Because all it's doing is coming down, 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 down while the price action is going up, and all that has to do is blip, right? This could just keep going like this and then go have one more big run. So it does say, hey, this is probably not a good time to invest. Just like this though too, is like more so you want to look for the opportunity that's happening in front of you, like at a good timing. So it'd be when is this almost too late? Well, I would say you're almost too late. You would consider yourself, hey, maybe I want to look for something else if you did not get in at this bar. Now we noticed that did continue, but we started to see reversal signals throughout these 2 months. So if you were getting in at the top of this bar or something like that, and we just go a little bit higher, you have the potential for a drop. So is this bar a good hold for 12 months? No, the 2 bars that were, the real bar that said, hey, I'm a good hold for 12 months was this one right here. February of 2024. Where are we at now? Right? We're in November. You're almost to the 12-month mark, and this thing's up there. And if I saw a move like that, if I made, I don't know what percentage this is, but if I made 123% in less than a year, I'm probably going to sell my investment because you are the greatest investor ever at that point. I think there might be an opportunity later on with something like Palantir. You see the weekly just screaming higher, very overbought. It's just, this is a big overreaction in my opinion, and I think it's going to end up being probably not the best sign for stocks going forward, honestly. But it does mean it's a bull run. It does mean it's a bull run. We can go up and tag 6,000 and see what happens. We just don't have reversal signals anywhere, so we can't be talking about downside at all. This is a squeeze. But the only thing we can talk about is a potential pullback. And the only way that you're going to drop dramatically from here is black swan, and nobody can catch a black swan. But we know there's plenty of things that could happen, but we have to wait for them to happen and then react. How we doing today on Friday? Friday's a good day, and I think we should go look at Oxy. Let's see what's going on with that. That one dropping off a cliff. All right, so this had the daily divergence, and now you're seeing this sell-off before earnings, right? Sell-off before earnings. Awesome. So what I want to look for here is I had daily divergence. I had 2-hour divergence. If we get rid of the 2-hour divergence, then that would say, hey, manage the trade for a minute, right? We're still close enough to that center line. You need to be just a tad bit higher. I'd like a reading of at least 0.5 usually. If I want to say, okay, I can maybe hold on to this. This might just be a pullback. Well, this is still just, if I cross, how close am I to that center line if I cross here? I'm at 0.1. I'm really, really close to that center line. So that 2-hour drops, watch out. Now, this doesn't mean there might not be an opportunity, right? You can still go make that divergence again. But you do have the golden setup here, so this might be one more move down before Oxy actually sees some good price action. We'll see. We will see. Well, and that's why you have, like, that's the thing with AMC. You really have to believe in reversal signals and be willing to say, like, oh, I'm going to miss out. Okay, because this signal here says downside, right? This says downside. This says daily can cross down. What we're looking for, and the big move is not going to come. That's why it was more just investing, right? That's why options are kind of sketchy with this stuff. Do you have a great reversal signal? Well, we told you, we said multiple times as well, this here is really deep into negative territory, but GME looked really good, and GME had the right signals. Now we have a period of time where, what if GME and AMC make those good signals together? And I'm sorry to hear about that, Short Fridays. That's too bad. Hopefully it wasn't able to hurt you too much, but we even have 2-hour divergence here for GameStop. So if this curls down, you would expect, hey, this to curl down into negative territory. And that's just why overall AMC was always this, and this is how I've treated it the entire time. You've heard me say it pretty much every single time I talk about AMC. Does anyone know when the moment's going to happen? No, we're paying attention to momentum to see when moves can happen, right? The reason that this actually did trickle up was because we actually did have flat divergences. We had an upward divergence on the MACD. The technicals are working. They're just not working too much in the bullish favor because you have people actively trying to fight the stock. So what does that mean? That means options are going to be very risky. Holding the stock is a little bit better. Holding the stock, and this is where I said it too, like my position size in AMC is always very, very small. My investment in AMC is very, very small compared to what I actually invest. And that's important because this could lose, you know what I mean? This could lose, and it's losing right now. That's true, Kyle. That's not a bad thing, too. There are ways, and that's why you saw with AMC, I wasn't putting a bunch of money in it, right? With AMC, what I was doing was I was putting a little money in it and then trading another stock, then using that stock, that profit to then put that back into AMC. So I use the market to pretty much, I take people's money out of a trade, right? I take someone else's money from a trade and then I apply it back into AMC at the right time, at the potential right times, right? Tesla's still going higher. We're probably going to approach that daily expected move soon. Let's see, Tesla, you actually have some room. You actually have some room there. I'm sorry to hear about that, Short Fridays. That is no good. Was it an option play, Short Fridays, or were you just holding the stock? Tesla rally actually started even before the election, if you really think about it. The low of Tesla coming in at this level. My thoughts on AMC. CEO Adam Aron is a fool. He keeps spending money on, of all things, many new Coca-Cola flavors. Jesus. Once the stock squeezes, then he does offerings every time, killing momentum. It's true, he does do that. They are a company, and thank you for the $20. Thank you so much, Short Fridays. And I think that the thing with that is mostly equity. Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. And I could tell you that this is built, AMC is built, right? How this thing's probably going to pop off is right when everyone really gives up on it, and there will be a few people still really holding, right? The people who are trying to do options every week or whatever, once those people give up, that's when something most likely does happen. It's when you don't expect it to go up. Yeah, 600 very soon, Frederick. Yeah, you pointed that out the other week, and it was definitely possible, especially after that reaction, that big expected move from the SPY. But yeah, the thing that you have to realize about AMC as well, what the hell just happened? Oh, my dog ran into my table. With AMC, you have to realize they are a stock that is in debt. They are forced down with their stock price, so they physically can't. I don't think you understand the damage that it actually does to a business to have this short seller problem, because they are, the biggest movie theater company in our country. Like they have the most locations, they have great sales, all those things, but their stock price is so low that they can't fund themselves in any kind of way by like selling stock and making those moves. So the company has to, at the end of the day, I know that Adam Aron, these people, they probably want it to happen for people, but they need to think of the longevity. They need to think of, hey, I have employees. They need to think of, hey, we still have debt. And the reason that they have debt is because they're not a $20 stock. If they were like just a $20 stock, they wouldn't have any debt. Isn't that crazy to think about? If they were, I think it's like if they were just a $14 stock, they would not have debt. So what I'm surprised is, like, during these times, like during that massive run, they weren't able to take care of the whole problem. I'm a little bit surprised by that. You would think. But maybe I'm giving him too much credit. Maybe he's just an asshole. I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy personally. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I dedicated an amount to hold the stock, and that's all I do with that. When's the right timing to short the SPY? Well, you would say when you have reversal signals. Do you have reversal signals now? No, you just have squeeze behavior. Maybe a 30-minute pullback comes, but is that a great short opportunity? Not necessarily. So this can continue into next week. So what we're going to be paying attention to is next week. Watch, this is how much you can read into these moves once you have them. I had to take my jacket off. So when you read into these moves, you can see, okay, we're going up dramatically. So what do I want to look for maybe come Monday? If we start to see some resistance come in, we start to pull back. Well, on Monday, I might look at the daily expected move. I might see the 30-minute go touch that daily expected move, curl back up into positive territory. We see that curl up. Then I see the 30-minute on, say, Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning, hit a daily expected move upside, and then get a pullback on the 2-hour. Then we pull back for a few days. Then you curl up on a 2-hour. Then the 2-hour is able to get above a weekly expected move. Then you see a 2-hour divergence. You know what I'm saying? See how much I can read into that just because of my moves, just because of what's going on here. If I'm going to see a reversal signal, most likely this is going to go, maybe it goes like a little bit higher, and then we pull back. We have that 85% chance. We start to pull back. Then we start to go into maybe Monday, if we hit these levels, maybe Monday we go a little bit deeper. We curl up into positive territory by the end of the day. Going into Tuesday, you go like this. You curl down on that 2-hour, really getting that 2-hour to pull back. Then you curl back up on that 2-hour. Then you go higher, and then you see that reversal signal on the 2-hour. Right, so then it's like that. And that would take you past the 600 level. Now, all of that is a theory. All of that is a thought. But that is how I would start to think about my moves going forward. Because this is a really high up reading. right? This is a pretty damn high up reading. You're getting a reading of almost 5 here for the 2 hour. The last time we were at 5, we were up here, and well, actually, we were pretty much up towards this level, right? And what did we do? We made divergences before we came down. So you're most likely going to see a 2 hour divergence before you come down. Tesla with a great move. It has a good implied volatility for today, and the direction is still up for now, as long as that remains curled up. Look at some things that are rolling down. This is the ones, right? We see the 2 hour. If that can curl down, maybe we make 2 hour divergence. But right now, do we have 30-minute divergence? No. So things like Amazon, things that are curling down are the ones that could then turn up into positive territory to give you that 30-minute divergence. If we see all that stuff in a different way, we will talk about it, right? And we're going to look through, I'm going to look through these stocks a lot over the weekend to see if I can find some hints for next week. Right, I think Tesla was our hint, right? If the 2 hour turned down, did it turn down? No. No. Nvidia, you can see this one, getting rid of the divergence points here. Weirdly enough, Nvidia actually holding the kind of multiple point divergence at this point. A little bit worrisome there, actually. Let me look at this. And thank you so much for the $20 short Fridays. Just know, I'm praying for you. I'm praying for that thing to go at any time. I know that it would help out a lot of people. But it's just the timing of it is pretty much impossible to figure out. I think you have the opportunity for a good signal to pop up for AMC and GME. I think about 2 weeks from now. Sorry, I was looking at Nvidia daily, monthly. See, Nvidia can still go higher. Nvidia's not too close to a monthly expected move, and it's not even close to the daily expected move at this point. So really all I should say is, hey, a 30-minute pullback can happen. That's really all I should read into here, because this is squeezing behavior. This could get down by the center line, then curl up into positive territory and give me that divergence point. Then that would be something to pay attention to. Meta failing the move, still great to go up to those resistance points. Maybe we just make a 30-minute divergence and that's it, right? I'm still going to just pay attention to 30 minutes as well. Any sign of weakness up in these areas that can possibly turn down a weekly, I am going to be thinking about taking plays. SMCI, as far as that one goes, you have a major divergence here on the 30 minutes. So that just tells you can get a 2 hour curl up. Obviously, if the 30-minute rolls down, bad. Okay. Now, where are we at? Can we look back on this? Are we in an area where buyers were at before? Yes, you are. So your one tick is, hey, I'm at a big liquidity level. I would say a support level where we can see a decent bounce. Now, when I look at that, what reversal signal do I have? I have a major reversal signal on the 30-minute forming here. So I know if the 30-minute curls down, then that's bad. But if this can curl up on the 2 hour, then this might keep going. And you notice the 2 hour gave you that tiny little rejection there. So that's pretty good. So if that 30-minute rolls down, should I expect the 2 hour to just keep doing this? No. I should expect us to make that stronger base, even stronger. The more liquidity you build in here, the stronger the move can be. The more divergences you build in here, the stronger the move can be. Triple divergence, stronger move. More likely to reverse the trend. That's why it's a stronger move, because you're more likely to reverse into a positive trend. A single divergence could be too low. You could go into a positive trend for a moment and then fail. A triple divergence would be nice. So do I think this has the opportunity to turn up the daily scale? Yes, and look how beat up that's been, right? You actually have divergence on the daily scale too. Triple divergence, the nearest one was relatively flat. Am I convinced that SMCI is going to go to a new all-time high? I'm open to it always, but I'm not convinced. Not with how the SPY, not with how the Qs are looking right now. We would have to see one of the most inflationary moments in history happen here. We would have to experience, shit, that would be like insane how much inflation would come in because of all these moves going higher. As of right now, the daily scale turned up into positive territory, so we should expect it to continue. Even though we made it just like a little bit wonky like this time. We had one here, fell down. We had one here, fell down. We have one here. Got one little one right there in the shorter time frames. That turned down. Then we have these wonky ones across. So if the daily turns down, we should be aware of that. But do we have reversal signals giving us a hint? No, not for the Qs. I would like it if we maybe just curled down on the 2 hour, right? Curled down on the 2 hour, pulled back, retested key levels, and then turned right back up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this wedge off. Because we already knew it was important, that's great, but we need to be paying attention to zones. And really, this zone could be like this now. I'd take where the wick was. This zone can be pretty big now. So that's a big zone, but most likely if we did curl down on a 2 hour, that's where we would get. We would get down to here, to curl down, curl back up, and then you'd have your reversal signal all maybe at the end of November. Cool stuff. GME actually seeing that positivity. That's interesting. Not curled down yet on a 2 hour. So no bigger 2 hour pullback, no cross down on the daily likely. If this continues upward, obviously, that's not going to be likely. Oh, my back. TLT now up 1%. Now up 1% on TLT. Second. All right, sorry about that. Checking in on that. Shit, 2-year and a 10-year getting a little closer. Just weird. See, now you're even getting a red blip here. Yeah, drink some water. Ion Q is doing good. Still. GME is popping on a Friday. Very, very interesting to be popping on a Friday. So yeah, the non you didn't confirm like AMC did. AMC did confirm it. This is where I always think, like, whenever they're really having to clamp down on one, they have trouble holding the other one down. So now you might see that thing that we saw back in the fall or in the spring, where it's like, oh, AMC or GME starts to run, so then they clamp down on GME, and then AMC starts to run just a little bit, but and then they kind of play it back and forth until they can shut it down. Big thing for AMC is just daily momentum. Do you see daily momentum shift down here? That's going to be a big deal. Because, you know, it's just like this big moment. What happened right before it? Earnings, 2 days, big pop. Earnings, 2 days, if it doesn't confirm down, big pop. It could happen. It could happen. And that big pop came. How long did that pop take to take off? Wait, am I back too far? Yeah, I'm back too far. It took 2 days. So, you never know. It happened like this that last time. Sold AMC before earnings for a gain. Yeah, and then you could just be like, oh, yay, profits, and it's cheaper now. That's good. So that's why it's very important to see, does momentum confirm down? If momentum confirms down, then I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look very good. Go look at this real quick. Let's get over to the SPY. Make sure we're paying attention to the market here. Mainly paying attention to a 30-minute or a 2-hour pullback at this point. I'm messing stuff up. All right, let me pull some charts up on my other screen here. Yeah, it's just we're not really seeing reversals at this point. So if you weren't in the SPY move, that gave you the divergence at the low here. See the divergence down there? If you weren't in that, then you have to be patient. That's what it seems like to me. Then my other charts, I want to look at this guy. Actually, want to go look at this too. Ooh, okay. Oh yeah, this is what I wanted to check. All right, cool. All right, now I'm getting back into the chat here. Let's see here. 3M Live Crew, what up, Martin? Such a zombie market. Yeah, that's kind of what the squeezes look like. They just gradually do this over time. It just kind of walks and walks and walks. High yield growth. High yield growth actually gave some basing out down in here a little bit, but for the most part, you can see how high yield growth trying to climb back up, see if that can consolidate here, and TLT would be in a similar boat at this point. If we can climb up a little bit higher, consolidate. Right now, TLT just kind of loving life at this point. You're finally getting that confirmation on the 2 hour. God dang it, I hate when I fuck shit up. I just fucked this up. Yo, what is happening? What the fuck just happened? Ah, I just messed it. Sit back now. I just messed all that up. God damn it. I gotta slow down. I'm trying to slow down because I'm trying to position some things. You think there's bullish divergence on a 2 hour? On a 2 hour for volatility? I'd be surprised if I missed that, but... Personally, I do not see anything close to 2 hour divergence formed yet. I'm seeing squeeze behavior still. What the hell is happening with this though? TLT still gaining? It is still. $319, $320 is what you're thinking? Then I wanted to look at... Let's leave it on the SPY though for you guys for a sec. Oh, this is where I have to try to figure stuff out. It's hard to do live because I want to chat with you guys, but I'm trying to figure some stuff out here. Wait 2 more seconds here to look at this, and then we'll be good. AMC really turning down there, 420. There we go. All right, finally done looking at TLT and AMC over here. See if that's going to curl down. Qs, no real reversal signals, just so you're aware. We can look through certain stocks on 30 minutes and just see, is this market going to like show any kind of signal of weakness on a 30 minute, on the shortest time frame. If you're going to see some weakness in some way, you can see it on the shortest time frame at least. You know, you get 15-minute divergence all the time. I like 30. Am I seeing it for Apple? No, just a pullback. Am I seeing it for Tesla? A little bit of 30-minute divergence here, but is that really going to be a complete downfall? I'd like it in the near price action closer to the center line, so I'd still say no. Does this have divergence? No for Amazon. Nvidia, does this have divergence? No for Nvidia. Starting to drop down though, my goodness. Maybe we're going to get that 30-minute pullback. AMD, does this have divergence or anything like that? No, if anything, it's trying to get that cup, get that handle, and maybe curl up into positive territory, right? Still going positive. Still going positive. We're at 1.6 there for the 30-minute. Meta, this is curling down. Is that a positive trend though? Very, very positive trend. We'd have no reversal signal on the 30-minute. Obviously, if bigger time frames start to curl down, bad things. But if this 30-minute can just whip up on all these stocks, you can see how it still remain very, very bullish. Microsoft, very good. Now making that 15-minute divergence in here. 30-minute can pull back from here. But we did react back up into that zone. Now Google's one. Sorry. Google's one I would keep my eye on. This could be a hint. If we're going to see a random downfall here, then Google's going to be, I think, the one to call this and let us know before it happens. That's what it looks like here. What it looks like. Yeah, because if Google confirms this down, you see how it's very obvious, right? Very obvious here. So if that 30-minute can whip up one more time, though, you have yourself some structure to head higher. So I'd keep in my booklet, right? I'd write in my notes, hey, pay attention to Google for the next few days. Let's look at a big stock, maybe like Netflix. Netflix is one that you could say, oh, divergence on the MACD, not on the RSI though. So just a pullback likely here still. We're violating everything. And you see that the 30-minute, there's no reversal signal in here. AMC, we already went over this. Continues to head down. One interesting thing was it was holding flat on the RSI, but that's kind of giving it up right now. So the daily rolls down, we should expect negativity. But GME doing some good shit. GME actually doing some okay stuff here. Still positive, right? The daily curls down. We can see that pullback. Still, the 2-hour is holding the reversal signals, right? If that 2-hour does dip back down, that could be bad. But weird to see. Very, very weird to see, usually, for GME to go up on a Friday. Very interesting. We just don't have the great signals. We just don't have, we have a good signal to go higher. Maybe we do go higher. Maybe it's just a simple curl up like this. But if that 2-hour divergence does complete, then we would expect momentum to shift down. SMCI, you see that starting to curl down. That means the 30-minute most likely will cross down. Maybe make a divergence point there. Mara, great upside move to get to a great level to consolidate. That seems to be what you're doing now. Watch for that 50 to catch up and then see if you can turn up into positive territory. Gold's starting to curl back down. Excuse me. Gold's starting to curl back down. If that curls down, watch out for divergence still. All right, we still want to watch for this type of look. Okay. We still want to pay attention to reversal signals, but this is that drop, and then you go up to the 5, and then you drop again. So that would be continuing the negative trend. You don't have to make reversal signals down here, so treat this with caution until you see that complete. Palantir, again, you're finally getting that to curl up here. You're gonna see a bunch on the 15-minute, right? We're gonna see a bunch of straight down for the 15, but you'll see that all the time when things are just squeezing. So it's very difficult to short stocks like this. unless you have a lot of money and a lot of time. So we can go have a look real quick. And William, thanks so much for the $2. I'm making bank on my TLT play. Your alert. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, it was one that was a tricky one, right? Because of this moment. This didn't look tricky at all. This looked like one of the greatest setups in a long time. That was tricky. Really convinces you to get out. And all I did was said, hey, I'm gonna buy a few more contracts. That's what I did. I just bought some dirt cheap contracts at this point. Yeah, William, and we held the divergence. That's the big thing. You held the divergence on the 2. It looks like you dipped down a little bit on the MACD for the 2, but when you pull this out to a 4, you're going, wow, this looks good. That's not good for gold. Yeah, you see this, and you're like, that looks pretty damn good. And then you had, you know, the 10-year making those signals as well. DJT, we can go look at. Heard it was halted. Ooh. Do you have a 2-hour here? You have 2-hour divergence here for DJT. Holy crap, you have 2-hour divergence here for DJT. That is a great sign. That is a pretty good sign if that crosses up. That has to cross up. All right, so do you have that opportunity for this to cross up? You're actually seeing a 30-minute divergence and a 2-hour divergence forming at the same time. So this means these things can base out at the same time here. DJT can see some upside, we'll see. The Dow, well, I guess, you know, you probably want the Dow, right? The Dow. Well, I do have this trend that goes way back. So that's the only thing I really have to go off of. And then I have daily expected moves for the Dow, which, what is this, 439? Let me see if I can convert that real quick. CIA 1. The Dow could go a little bit higher here. Not too much higher, at least for the day. I'm mainly talking about for the day. For the month, you're already seeing something crazy. So it is a time to be like, ooh, something's going on here. I just want to keep my eye on this. This is a pretty good move for a Friday. Very weird to do this. If this completes on a Friday, things can get interesting. If this like gets outside of here on Friday again, and it ends positively, that can be a big deal. Let me go check on some stuff here for this. I'll check on it while I leave you guys over on the... Actually, let's go check on Nvidia here, because that's starting to curl down. See if we're just getting a 30-minute pullback. That's all we should really expect at this point. Just checking in on some stuff here. All right, so Nvidia just trying to curl down at this moment. It is curled down, but that was with the squeeze. So 2-hour pullback is possible here. I'd really look for that reaction to this area in here. Most likely we are going to retest that 5, come down towards 143.50 is what I'll say. Wow. Interesting stuff, though. AMD still looking for that consolidation. Q's actually flipping red a little bit here. Still looking like 30-minute pullback. We could pull back with time. There you go. There you go, TLT. There you go. TLT has some room to go to the upside as far as the week is concerned. As far as the day is concerned, you're outside of a daily. But man, that just keeps dropping, doesn't it? So TLT should start printing for some people now. This is just the start. If we can break through this, then this was a fake out. We get right back in it. Boom. Probably end up towards 95.73 this month. If we can continue this positivity and break through here, probably end up towards this area. Volatility still turning down, so telling us that, hey, this move is most likely not done. Oh, but are we just going to tap 600 and see something? That's kind of wild. Interesting. XLU did base out, right? It's trying to base out, but it looks kind of flaggy, right? We're still holding kind of flaggy here. It's trying to. But anytime that 2-hour crosses, yeah, we're retesting a breakdown area, right? That little zone in between these lows. And this level here is probably the big one, 79, but you are testing key levels right now, and you had a gap in that area too. Tesla's still going. As of now, Tesla seeing something crazy, seeing something crazy, seeing something absolutely crazy. Betting against Tesla is a risky fucking business. Sorry for cursing, but it is. Meta's starting to roll too. There's no way we get a black swan right after all this, right? There's no way we don't just do this first. Like, we just go up to here, black swan. That would be awful. So one thing we can pay attention to still is the weekly scale. Right, that's a very strong move. So if that says anything, that says this can continue for a little bit, right? See the cues? That's saying I can continue a little bit here. I think you're looking at 2-hour pullback would be nice. Look at volatility. Volatility is crossing down on the weekly scale, so this is saying this is very, very, very bullish at this moment. If this were to stop, it would be due to a black swan event at this point. If it's not just going to pull back and curl back up, then something bad has to really happen. TLT on the weekly scale looks like it wants to turn up. You look for a 15-minute, but like, see that squeeze? Chill day. Chilling like a villain. Read up to the ceiling. Alright, there we go. TLT options getting some love there. See if TLT just keeps going. No, we haven't seen that difference. Remember, TLT's been going down forever, and this thing's starting to spike up while the market's been going up and really just up and up and up. So interesting. Let's look at the timing on this. TLT started to fall dramatically September 17th. On September 17th, we have continued in the upward direction for the SPY the entire time. So we still have that chance for the corrective move where people fly into TLT. Yeah, I guess technically you have divergence here. It's not holding here on the RSI, violating it. So the VIG, if the volatility closes like that on the weekly scale, it is saying like, hey, this is going to be an upward move. Now you can get reactions of volatility, consolidation, but as long as that weekly remains crossed, it's saying volatility is most likely going down to 1212. Like, look at that thing pointing down, breaking the 200. That's going to be key. And then the 30-minute, if that's not able to create anything, right? We're not creating much of anything. Yeah, there's going to be a divergence with this big point down here, but you wanted that to maybe create it very flowy on the MACD at the same time. You didn't get it. Whew, that turning down on a weekly scale, that says there could be weeks of positivity. That's crazy. Q is still rolling though. Interesting. Really hope these aren't blips. Blips down, turns back up. I'm gonna keep AMC on my radar here. I'm gonna keep AMC on my radar. That's not fully curling down on a daily just yet. I was working on some trade like water sweaters. I know it's getting cold out there. Maybe a trade like water notebook. I think that's the most likely thing, Jeffrey. You think the QQQ is just consolidation to move upwards? That is the most likely thing to happen. You're seeing squeeze behavior. The volatility is continuing to confirm on the bigger time frames. More squeezing, more squeezing, more squeezing. So what does that tell you? That tells you, well, I should expect this bullish thing to continue till I see reversal signals. And I don't see any reversal signals. And a lot of the time in squeezes, you're going to get a 2-hour triple divergence a lot of the time. So I think the most likely thing is for this to pull back, turn up, pull back, turn up, right? That's the most likely thing to happen here. I don't see any reversal signals. That is obviously, if big time frames like weekly start to turn back down, we will talk about those things. We do the macro video on Saturday, but this is very, very bullish, and so you have to go with the trend. You have to go with the trend on a move like this. You're chicken. That's okay. You're still being a diligent trader. Doing anything during an earnings is sketchy. Yeah, you're very bullish on the 30-minute. I don't believe you're even making reversal signals at all on the 2-hour. See how that's coming above all these levels? So you have a new sequence happening here. And this means, hey, we can still pull back on that 2-hour and the 30-minute, and maybe we do that. But we're looking for that monthly. So notice a lot of stocks outside of their monthly seeing something crazy, but we haven't seen the SPY get out of its monthly. Or the Qs. We haven't seen the Qs get out of it. We haven't seen the SPY get out of it either. And the thing about the monthly is it's right at that 600 level. I would be a little bit worried about Black Swan anytime we're above this, but I'd really like to see reversal signals in order to make a decision to make a trade. Hey, it happens, Kalani, but hey, 100%. 100%. Let's go. 100% is good. There will always be another trade if you're patient enough. What was the one? It was Google. Google is the hint. If we're going to see dramatic downside, I think Google's your hint. I would literally take out my notebook right now, write a note, and just say, pay attention to Google. Well, how beat up did UVXY get with that move? Ooh, 10 points. Rough. That's what I should have done with this SPY move. I should have shorted volatility. It just didn't show up at the same time. Not the same exact time, so, but that was a great, great look. Still just trickling higher, just squeezing. Oh, Tesla is ripping. So for something like Tesla at this point, you want to maybe pull out to a daily scale, look for where this thing would experience consolidation. Here is where you would like consolidation, actually, right at this level. If this is going to continue to have volatility, it would still be great for Tesla to go do this and then turn right back up. That might be just a 2-hour pullback. AMC, let's just check, make sure. No, not crossing down on the daily yet. The last time it popped, it did this with earnings, right? Did this, 2 days of selling, and then it popped. Interesting. GME. GME curled up on the 2-hour, never curled down. And you don't see this a lot on Fridays, guys. Everyone. Apparently GME here, the buy volume has gone through the 30-day average. You're at 20.9 million buy volume right now. Crazy. Why am I sleepy today? It's raining again here today. That's why I'm sleepy today. You wake up, you get no sun. I'm always just like, ugh. What are you doing now? Yeah, but these days in markets will be sluggish, right? Because you're just seeing 30-minute, no reversal signal heading up towards a monthly. You're just in patience mode. If you didn't catch the 30-minute divergence here, led to that 2-hour turning up and the 2-hour never curled back down, well, then you're just kind of being patient, sitting on the sidelines. That's what I'm doing. Just have my TLT stuff and I'm chilling. We didn't make it up to the gap, though. Alright guys, I gotta use the restroom and I'll be right back. All right. All right, vote in the chat. Who thinks that the SPY is going to make it to that 649 level or 60102 today? Who thinks they're going to get up to the 600 level today? Huh. Interesting. Me? Christina's like, me. Huh. We'll see. I'd still pay attention. This 2 hours rolled up. I'd still watch the 4. Very beat up, but interesting. Interesting stuff. Fishy, fishy. Love y'all. Tesla to 1 million. Tesla's just taken off, man. So it looks like that monthly curl up kind of got it right. Isn't that crazy? So far. You would say so far it's got it right. Monthly curl up. One bad moment. Curls right back up. All right, taking off. So Tesla's saying hell yeah. The only ones that look like hell yeah are pretty much, what, Tesla? All the other ones look like they've been up too long. AMD saying the opposite. Ooh, Microsoft. That's going to be worrisome by the end of the month. How close are you to a monthly? You're pretty damn close to a monthly, too. That's worrisome. But for now, for the shorter term, we're just looking for those 30-minute pullbacks. Qs looking like pullback with time, maybe. I'm just interested how GameStop is seeing some good price action. I'm going to keep this up on the charts too. Ooh, Dow's getting close. 44.1K on the Dow is where I think that resistance would come in. So somewhere in this area here should be some form of profit taking in some way, but you're just squeezing. So most likely it continues the positive trend. If we keep squeezing like this, you're going to end up with a 2-hour pullback probably. At least the Qs are doing it. Okay, Nvidia. Huh. Nvidia very flat here. I don't think you want that 2-hour to turn down actually for Nvidia. Not yet. I think that needs Another 30-minute move higher, that's a little risky. You keep reading here. Still going, 44,000, you hit it. For the Dow. Ooh. Damn. Sluggish day. What are you guys chatting about? Yeah, Nvidia's a little worrisome, isn't it? I really think this 30-minute would want to push back up, but if this 2-hour crosses, it's not the best looking divergences in the world, right? But the next curl up, you do still have that point, and it's even. It's very flat. So if this is some kind of rigged move in some way, or some kind of rug pull is going to happen, I think Nvidia might tell us. And I think Google will tell us. I think Google's the main one to look at on the 2-hour and see if that's going to curl down. So I need to watch the 30 minutes, see if that can curl back up, because it's still so positive. So I'm still not leaning towards it, but I'm aware of it. The trading Nvidia on the Dow today is the first day. Well, you're at 44, you got like a 44,000, and you have like 100 points left before resistance can probably come in. PCC indicates possible rug pull. Dollar going up, PCC low, dollar is going up. Now you do have that rigged behavior there. Interesting. Thompson Us is coming in asking to look at LLY. Let's go look at that real quick. Thank you so much for the $1.99. Appreciate it. 30-minute here, you have divergence there for the 30-minute. Can you curl up a 2-hour chart? 2-hour chart showing not really a divergence there, but if this is going to keep going, it has to go and go and go and go positive to curl up on the daily scale. You don't necessarily have reversal signals for this to go into a positive trend on the daily scale, but it is telling you have the chance for a 2-hour pop here. How high up could that 2-hour pop go? Well, you could come up and test some key levels here. Key level 1, probably something towards 850 if you're able to keep going. And then breakdown area. So this little box in here. There's a little box in here that I'd be paying attention to. I think the highest reaction, most likely 892.51 before you see a pullback at least. If you're going to be bullish, you'd probably need to get to 892.51 and see the shorter time frames curl up. So the only thing you had was a hint to tell you that the 2-hour was going to turn here. And then that would just be a quick little double play, because I'm not seeing great reversals. I'm seeing, hey, this could get by the center line, dip back down, and then I'd maybe see one. Get something like a double bottom. Even though you probably, I mean, double bottom might already be there, so. Everything's pointing up right now. It's just in negative territory, so a little bit worrisome. If the daily curls up, you can see a bigger move. That's when you probably get to 892.50, but you have to be aware of any kind of weakness in this 30-minute throughout this move. It's not weak, though. It's showing a good bounce. HGX trying to bounce, but that looks like a 2-hour by the center line. Oh, wait, we're getting that breakout. We're breaking out above this. So the housing sector trying to come back with this. TLT still looks strong. Yeah, I hope that was in some way helpful. I know that the only thing I saw, though, was the 30-minute divergence before the 2-hour could see that reaction. And it was in our zone. So you notice we did look at this stock before, and it's in our little zone. And we made a 30-minute divergence. And then that 30-minute divergence proves to be, hey, the 2-hour is curling up. So that's great. Hey, Legini, how you doing? VIX isn't $1, okay? VIX is a reading. No, Sid. VIX bounced off 1466, but it's pretty weak. Yeah, that's the problem with volatility, is this isn't like a strong looking divergence because it's squeeze behavior. So you're seeing kind of weak divergence in the volatility. It's still there, so it still can get a reaction, but this would be a very random look for this to immediately be a big amount of volatility coming in. It would be very random. That's what I'm saying. Like, the only thing that can really disrupt this move from going a little bit higher, right, doing the 30-minute pullback, giving us reversal signals outside of a monthly, the only thing that can really disrupt that is a black swan moment. And I think a stock that can give you a hint if that could happen, right, be higher probability of happening, is something like Google. If Google curls down on the 2-hour, but even that would just be barely a hint because it's very high up in positive territory. Haven't been there for a month. Hey, that's all right. You're coming back now. Doing well. You know, the thing is, if you haven't been here for a month and you want to see, oh, why did this move head higher? We actually see the divergence on the SPY. That gave us the hint that said, watch out, we're going to get at least a retest, if not some kind of massive move, because the daily expected move for this day was huge. Huge. It's going to be huge. GME started to give it up a little bit there. You're making 30-minute divergence all across this thing. Oh yeah, it's overbought for sure. It could keep going though. That's the crazy thing. Like, I know this is just getting overbought, but that's just getting overbought. We see way overbought readings all the time. So I'm just more paying attention for reversal signals right now, and you have to start out by saying, hey, the 30-minute and the 2-hour higher. So I first need to see if one forms on the 30-minute. What is Wolf? Oh, TerraWolf, okay. TerraWolf, similar story, right? You could probably see a pullback here. Right, a pullback would be nice. You do have some probably 15-minute divergence in there, still a squeeze. But this would be nice to pull down into liquidity, get to this little zone right here, right in between that high and these lows. That would be nice. And then you react down to the 5, you curl back up into positive territory. Then we can talk about the 2-hour turning down. Would that be, hey, a crash is going to happen? Well, we got to look at the 2-hour. The 2-hour here is showing divergence, but if you might want to make one in the near, it's pretty positive, so you might want to make one in the nearest price action. So you go make that divergence, right? 2-hour falls down more, then you go up again, then you see something like that. Ooh, good point, Terry. Since now they don't really care about lying to the people to convince you that this administration has done all good things and the data has been real the entire time. Well, they don't really like Trump, so maybe they do release real data. Maybe we get the real unemployment numbers. Maybe we get the real jobs numbers that they're really worried about. Maybe we get all those numbers. We'll see. Let's see when those things come out. As of this morning, Michigan consumer sentiment coming out at 73. Next week on Wednesday, we will get the CPI. Then we will get Thursday PPI. Then on Thursday, we will get Fed Chair Powell speech. I don't know where. We'll look at that later. Retail sales on Friday. Expected to come down just a little tiny bit. When's unemployment and jobs data? Initial jobless claims on November 21st. FOMC minutes on November 26th. Then GDP. And that's it for the month. Okay. GameStop's still kind of holding it here, man. AMC, weirdly enough, with AMC, and I know this is just strange and this could be nothing, Most likely we do, you know, turn down on the daily, we see that negative trend continue, and we look out for divergence. That's the most likely scenario, but for AMC, so the most likely thing, right, make sure to put this down, but the most likely thing would be, hey, that 2 hours confirmed, most likely we do cross on this daily, we head down, and then we can see if we make a reversal signal here. That would be one. And that might time into GameStop earnings. Okay. But if we're going to see this thing turn up, the 30-minute, if we're going to see this thing turn up right now, the 30-minute does have, weirdly enough, you do have the divergence on the RSI, not the MACD at the same time. If we would turn up here. So I'm interested. Because the last time the big moment happened, AMC had earnings, 2 days of selling came in, and downside. So there's your earnings, 2 days of selling came in, and then it popped to the upside. This will be interesting to see if this happens soon. I'm still more leaning towards the daily turning down, giving you that daily pullback, and then curling up into positive territory. I think that's more likely. All right, well, unfortunate. So yeah, mainly in the market looking for those 30-minute pullbacks. We shouldn't assume that this is not going to continue because we're seeing all the squeeze signals. We got the reversal signal on the SPY down in here. That reversed very strongly. So now we're in a whole new sequence here and we don't see any reversal signals. So we got to make sure to note that. I do have to take off, but thank you guys so much for being here today. I really do appreciate it. I wish you nothing but luck with all your trades from here on out. And join me tomorrow. We will be going over some other things, looking into some stuff, maybe looking at that macro scale, making sure we're still aware of where we are at. As far as the month goes too, we're going to talk a little bit more about these monthly ranges and what we could form up in these areas. I think that would be a lot better, more useful for people to understand that this is a very bullish move. How would this bullish move fail? When's the real opportunity? Okay, that's what we're going to talk about on Saturday. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you have those notifications on, and join me on Saturday. I will take off for now, but I will see you guys tomorrow. If you guys want to dedicate yourself to some learning over the weekend, look for those divergences before they happen, right? Because a lot of what we're going to talk about is what we teach you in the course, how to really look for a trade up towards these monthly expected moves. An example of what we're looking for was this right here, right? This is what we're looking for in some way. And you notice that that led to a drop. And then that's where we find, you know, the SPY making those divergences and move to the upside. So you always got to be ready to react, but this was a good trade, right? You can see the 30-minute double top. We had 2 hour divergence behind it. We were outside of a monthly expected move. That's what we're going to look for. That's what we're going to talk about in tomorrow's video. Even on the shorter time frames too. We're not just going to look at the macro scale on that. We're going to look into the shorter time frames. So make sure to join. But if you want to learn so that you can understand fully when to take that position or when it is most probable, that course is down there in the description. It is 90% off. You only have, what is it, 23 days left. If you get it right now, you have 23 days left to get it for $100 for the Using Technical Indicators course, the technical analysis course down in the description. 90% off, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining today. Really appreciate it. I'm going to leave you guys on the SPY. We're going to see, actually, let's leave you on the Qs because that thing's at least turning down a little bit. But this looks like consolidative to actually head higher. One last note before I take off. We do see the PCC very low. We see the dollar going higher. That is some rigged behavior that we've paid attention to in the past, okay? So there is potential for something to happen here, and the way that you're gonna know if something really bad can happen is if we start to see Google really see some weakness here. If we see Google really start to cross down on this 2 hour, that's gonna be the big deal. And I'd watch out because that hourly is about to cross. Right now we wanna think, hey, this can continue, cup and handle, right? But if that's too much, that's going to get a little worrisome. So thank you guys for being here. Peace out. Usually the Saturday video comes out Central Time in the morning. Just in the morning. Before noon, it's usually out there. Before the afternoon, it's usually there. So before noon, it's usually out there. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for asking. Peace.